Hello everyone, this is Nirali Patel from New Algae Institute of Engineering and Technology. So far we have discussed about basic concept of probability and some examples on probability concept. In today's lecture we are going to start with theorems on probability. So the first theorem is that the probability of an impossible event is zero. Impossible event, that means something that is not going to be happen. For example, sun rising in west. So that is an example for the impossible event. Now this impossible event doesn't have any sample point. So an event which has no sample point is called impossible event and it is denoted by phi. So the probability of this impossible event is zero, where phi is nothing but null set. So here the proof for this theorem is given. So for a sample space S of an experiment, sample space is nothing but all possible outcomes that we have already discussed in the last lecture. So we can say that S union 5 is equals to S only. Now by taking the probability both sides, so whenever you take the probability both sides, so you will get P of S union 5 is equals to P of S. Now, since S and 5 are mutually exclusive events, that means these both events can't happen in a same trial. So, as we have discussed in the last lecture, from the axiomatic definition of the probability that if there is a A1, A2 and up to AN event, and these all events are mutually exclusive, then P of A1 union A2 union A3 up to union AN is equal to nothing but probability of A1 plus probability of A2 plus up to probability of AN. So from that we can write P of S plus P of 5 is equals to P of S because S and 5 are mutually exclusive events. So from these axioms we can write that P of S plus P of 5 for this P of S union 5, P of S plus P of 5 is equals to P of S. So from that we can write P of phi is equals to 0. Now moving to the next theorem, that is theorem number 2. So the probability of complementary event A bar of A is given as like this. P of A bar is equals to 1 minus P of A. So here suppose my sample space is nothing but S. So here the proof is given, let A be an event in a sample space S. So this is my sample space and A be an event in a sample space S. S means that is the sample space and that means all possible outcomes. An event is nothing but subset of sample space S, as we have already discussed in the last lecture. Now this part is nothing but A bar. So this is A bar. So we can see that from this Venn diagram as well that A union A bar is equal to S. So A union A bar is equal to S. Now by taking the probability both sides, we can write P of A union A bar is equals to P of S. Since A and A bar are mutually exclusive events, from this Venn diagram also you can say that A intersect A bar is nothing but 5. So from this Venn diagram we can see that A and A bar are mutually exclusive events. So as those are mutually exclusive events, for this P of A union A bar, we can write P of A plus P of A bar from axiom 3 is equals to P of S. Now P of S is always 1. We have already discussed this in the last lecture as well. So P of A plus P of A bar is equal to 1. So from that, we can write P of A bar is equals to 1 minus P of A. So hence we prove that the probability of complementary event A bar of A is equal to 1 minus P of A. Now there is one note that A and A bar are mutually exclusive event. So A union A bar is equals to S, as we have discussed, and A intersect A bar is equals to 5, as I told you before. Now from this theorem 2, there is one corollary, that probability of an event is always less than or equal to 1. Therefore, P of A is always less than or equal to 1. How? So here we have discussed that P of A bar is equals to 1 minus P of A. So we can write P of A is equal to 1 minus P of A bar, and this P of A bar is always greater than or equal to 0, because in last lecture, axiomatic definition of probability, in that we have discussed that probability of any event is non-negative number. That's why we can write P of A bar is always greater than or equal to 0. So if this is always greater than or equal to 0, so P of A is always less than or equal to 1. For example, if we consider P of A bar value is suppose 0.1. Okay. So 1 minus 0.1, that is nothing but 0.9. So P of A is 0.9, that is less than or equal to 1. If we consider that the value of P of A bar is 0, so in that case that becomes the 1. So this is the proof for this corollary. Now moving to the next topic. So since an event is a subset of a sample space, as we have discussed in the last lecture as well, that event is nothing but that is the subset of a sample space, we can apply the De Morgan laws to event. So you might be aware about this De Morgan laws. So there is nothing but A union B whole bar is equals to A bar intersect B bar. So similarly over here we can write P of A union B whole bar is equals to P of A bar intersect B bar. And similarly we can also write P of A intersect B whole bar is equals to P of A bar union B bar. So this way we can also apply De Morgan's laws on the event. Now moving to the next theorem, that is theorem number 3. So for any two events A and B in a sample space S, we can write P of A bar intersect B is equals to P of B minus P of A intersect B. So what is the proof for this theorem? So from this Venn diagram, you can check that B is equals to A intersect B. This part is A intersect B. And this part is nothing but A bar intersect B. So this is nothing but A bar intersect B. So by taking the probability both sides, we can write P of B is equals to P of A intersect B union A bar intersect B. Now here you can see that A intersect B and A bar intersect B are mutually exclusive events. From this Venn diagram also you can check that the intersection of A intersect B and A bar intersect B is nothing but 5. So we can say that those are the mutually exclusive event, as we have noted over here as well, that if A and A bar are mutually exclusive event, then we can say that A intersect A bar is equal to 5. So from that also we can say that A intersect B and A bar intersect B are mutually exclusive event. So for mutually exclusive event, we can write for this statement that P of A intersect B plus P of A bar intersect B. So from that, we can write P of A bar intersect B is equals to P of B minus P of A intersect B. Similarly, we can also write that P of A intersect B bar is equals to P of A minus P of A intersect B. So how? Let us see. So for this, we can write from this Venn diagram that A is equals to A intersect B bar union A intersect B. So by taking probability both sides, we can say P of A is equals to P of A intersect B bar union A intersect B. Now A intersect B bar and A intersect B. These both events are mutually exclusive. So for that we can write P of A equal to P of A intersect B bar plus P of A intersect B. Now from that we can write P of A intersect B bar is equals to P of A minus P of A intersect B. So we can also say similarly that P of A intersect B bar is equals to P of A minus P of A intersect B. So this is all about theorem number 3. So this is all about today's lecture. In next lecture, we are going to discuss about still. So this is all about today's lecture. In next lecture, we are going to continue with the theorems on probability. In that, we will discuss about the addition theorem on probability. Till then, keep exploring and thank you.